what does that message mean? That message seems to me a very clear indication that the ZPM is working as a cat's paw, as a sort of a wedge in the door for the BJP. The ZPM has never been in government, has no experience of government, doesn't have very many people who know administration here. And the clear thinking on both the BJP's part and perhaps the ZPM's part, that they won't admit it, may well be that the way to actually, if they get enough seats, is to come to power with the support of the party in the centre, namely the BJP. Now, we've seen a similar scenario playing out in one or two north and northeastern states. We don't think the people of Mizoram deserve a repetition of that scenario. I think what we need to see is people voting for a party they can see, not for a party which may have shadows behind it that we don't know whose shadows they are.
Any other questions? No, he's raised. Give it to him. Please raise the hand so that we can pass. Okay.
Yeah. Mr. Rijiju, convener of BJP for this election, Mizoram election, saying that BJP is anti-corruption party. No, in 9 years, no even a single minister is accused of any corruption. Something like that. Any comment about that?
Well, I can tell you about that is one of the funnier claims that has been made. Don't ask a BJP person, are you corrupt? What do you expect them to say? Go and ask any businessman in this country whether corruption has gone up since 2014. Go and ask anyone who does import or export in India what their experience has been. Go to anyone who's a taxpayer in India and has to deal with the tax officials. You tell me, after talking to people who really have the experience of dealing with the BJP government, you tell me what the answer is. I'm not going to sit here and tell you because I'm not a businessman, I'm not an importer, exporter, but I have talked to very many of them. Because I also wanted to believe it, right? So when I saw the Transparency International Index, which is the international yardstick, the gold standard for judging countries' progress in overcoming corruption. And we have done worse in the BJP rule than in the past, and we did not have a great record because there was corruption in the country. I will say that we've done worse now under the BJP, and when you ask why, this is the reason. Because Transparency International doesn't look at government press releases. They look at the experience of actual people doing business in India. And I'm sorry to say, I'm not proud of this. As an Indian, I want my country to be corruption-free. Mahatma Gandhi had set the standards for this country as to how the moral values that should infuse our governance. And many of us are feeling very sad that did not change. But merely making claims without any substance, people only laugh at that. We all know how the investigative agencies of the BJP have become an instrument, of the government of India, have become an instrument of the BJP. We know that they have only targeted opposition parties or leaders or business people who are supporting opposition parties. We have seen that there has been not one investigation of any charge against anybody associated with the ruling party, even when the mass media have come up with these allegations. So all I can say to you, my friend, is it would take a great deal of credulousness, a willingness to believe that particular claim of the BJP.
Yes, please.
Hello, sir. I'm Dilip. I'm from PTI.
Hi.
I have two questions. I will ask it together. My first question is regarding the Mizoram elections. Congress was the last party in Mizoram while they were ruling the northeastern state. Mizoram, the last Congress ruled northeastern states in 2018. Now, according to your assessment, will Mizoram again the first party where Congress will return? This is my first question. Second question, everywhere in the country, we are seeing that keeping the MLAs intact after the results are out is a big challenge for the Congress party. And they shift their sides after the countings are there. And if Congress does not get a considerable majority or big numbers, there is a possibility of like that. So in that scenario, what is the strategy that Congress will adopt? How are you going to protect your MLAs?
First, I'm very confident that from everything I'm picking up, and I've talked not only to party workers but to general members of the public, that there is a very good chance that Mizoram will establish that it becomes the first state to bring the Congress back to power in the Northeast. It will not be the last, it will definitely be the first, and others will follow. Secondly, on the question of the loyalty of MLAs, let me say very bluntly that the opportunists would have left the party by now because the opportunities were greater elsewhere. Those who were only interested in the power of office, those who were only interested in the benefits that come from being associated with the ruling party, those would not have stayed in the Congress in these arduous circumstances. So we are confident that we have given tickets to good people who really believe in the ideology of the Congress, who want to save the idea of India and to preserve the diversity of Mizoram. And such people are not likely to jump overnight, jump ship and go somewhere else. Let me make one small observation to you, my friend. We are very conscious that just a few months away after the state election are the big national elections. And those national elections are nothing less than a struggle for saving India's soul. Because the idea of an India where everyone is equal, where everyone, irrespective of language, religion, caste, creed, region, culture, whatever, they all have the same rights under our constitution, that idea is under threat. That idea is under threat, and that's why next year's Lok Sabha election is so important. In many ways, the Mizoram election is a dress rehearsal for that. It's an opportunity for the people of Mizoram to say, this is the India we want to preserve. And that's what we're urging people to think about, particularly highly literate state like Mizoram. I think only my state of Kerala comes slightly ahead of Mizoram in terms of literacy, otherwise you're right up there. We want you to think very seriously about the larger meaning of this election. And that's the vote that we believe you should give us.
Carolyn.
Hello. My name is Carolyn. I'm from DD News, Mizoram. I have two questions. I'll just club it together. In the past, the Congress in Mizoram here had a significant track record, securing the highest number of MLAs in 2013 election. But if we look at 2018 election, there has been a drastic decline in the number of MLAs. So I want you to pinpoint the reason behind this decline and whether it's related to leadership or other factors. Regardless of the decline, what distinct and unique propositions or policies does your party have in store for the state in light of these changes?
Sorry, I didn't get
in light of these changes, like what your party has in store for this day. And my second is, you've talked about diversity, unity in diversity, but if we look into every tribal, religion or cultural group, there tend to be presence of fundamentalists and extremists. And as we are deeply influenced by, do you believe that in the future, our constitution will effectively safeguard our rights, or will they be at risk, necessitating the constant battle each time a new government with different ideologies come into power? Or is this a reflection of reality, or it is more of an ideal scenario?
No, I think you asked some good questions, young lady. From the first one about the decline in the number of MLAs, you're right, there was a drop dramatically between 2013 and 2018, but there wasn't such a dramatic decline in the percentage of votes. So it was still principally an election between the MNF and the Congress. I think the percentage was only 2 or 3% less in terms of Congress votes. The ZPM had already come into existence by then, and as you know, they took a few seats and a few percent of the votes, and it seems that the votes they took were mainly from us. So 2018 reflected not a loss of confidence in the party by the voters as a whole, but the way the mathematics worked out. With the percentage of vote we got, we could have got more MLAs, we only got the 5 we got. So that's the first answer. It happens in a first past the post system. You know that. I mean, the famous example that foreigners like to cite is how Ms. Mayawati's party got 20% of the vote in 2019 and didn't win a single MP seat, not one, with 20% of the vote. So in our system, such things can happen. It does not mean that the party, in this case the Congress, has lost the confidence of the voters. It means that in some places not enough votes came our way against the MNF candidate, partially because in some places ZPM took away some of our votes, and that was, you can do detailed constituency-wise analysis, you'll see that. On the second thing, as far as what the Congress has promised, I already gave you all the headlines, all the big picture items. I have a whole bunch of notes to give a very detailed program, but I don't know if you want that, because that's all in the manifesto, and you can see the things we're promising. Let me speak briefly about what we are not going to do. I mentioned at the beginning about this one nation, one election, one nation, one law, one nation, one leader kind of approach the BJP has. Now the thing is that this one nation, one civil code is also coming from the BJP. Congress has steadfastly opposed one nation, one election, and will oppose one nation, one civil code once we know what it contains. Because right now, this is just what's the word I want, almost a ghostly apparition. There is a slogan, but there is no substance behind the slogan yet. No one has seen a draft civil code. So what is this uniform civil code they want? Our worry is, one of the beauties of our system is how we are able to preserve both different legal traditions and cultures in our country, in which, for example, the tribal peoples all have their own tribal codes, and at the same time give those who want to participate in an established written civil code the right to do so. So, for example, if you're a Muslim woman in India, you can marry under the Muslim law, and then all the benefits and obligations that flow from Muslim law will apply to you. But you can also marry, if you want, through the Special Marriages Act, sign a register, and then all the legal benefits of that apply to you. That kind of system is something that we believe gives everybody equal rights. Now tomorrow you bring a uniform civil code, what happens to the rights of the tribals? What happens to the rights of religious minorities? We don't know, because we haven't seen a draft yet. But it's alarming that people are floating ideas that press uniformity. And the Congress is saying to you, unity does not mean uniformity. We are saying that we can stay united with all our differences that are part of our diversity. And that is the main difference between the Congress and the others. Now, the specific things I've mentioned, everything from tackling employment to the health scheme to the cancer care. We've got the 2,000 rupees. We've got talked about the old pension fund. We've got many such schemes like this. And if you want to know a little more, my colleagues will certainly give you chapter and verse in the manifesto, because we've thought this through in consultation with the people of Mizoram. It's what they want that we have given in the manifesto, and we believe in a realistic way. This will not break the budget of the government. And we have a very responsible, experienced former finance minister who stands behind this manifesto.
Sharif?
Hello, sir.
Any other questions? Raise your hand, please.
Hello, sir. My name is Jerry. I'm from AMI. Recently, most of the star campaigner from Congress coming to the state have been saying that ZPM is the backdoor for BJP. And in a recent interview with Mr. Lal Duhoma, who is the CM candidate for the ZPM, we had an interview with him asking him the same question, and his reply was, we are not going to join any political group at the national level. As he said, we don't want to be dictated from Delhi. So what is your reaction to this? And don't you think this also have to do with the decentralization of power?
Look, it's an admirable sentiment. No one wants to be dictated to from Delhi, not even Congress chief ministers, not even BJP chief ministers. They all want their freedom to make their own decisions. Our problem is the unanswered questions that are lurking behind the ZPM's approach. Where is their financing coming from? For example, what is their path to power by themselves? They've never been in power. They've never had any experience getting to power. There are some genuine, sincere questions to be asked about how they expect to be able to come to power in this state, and whether it is somebody's very deep pockets that are going to lie behind any attempt to wrest power in the state. We, very frankly, do not believe the ZPM is going to be in a position to rule Mizoram alone. I mean, that, I don't know whether you have got different polls than the ones we have seen, but we don't see it. We don't see it. What we fear they can do is damage to us. We feel we are doing very well with the general public, but that in some constituencies it's possible that the difference between us and victory could be in the votes of ZPM. So we want to also ask voters, what do you think you're voting for? You see, everyone says they want to change. I mean, I have not met a Mizo voter who says we're happy with this MNF government. Everybody wants a change. But what change do they want? Is it not better to go for a change you know, with a party you know, and a party that knows Mizoram? That's what the Congress is. That is our answer to this.
If there are no other questions, then I request Sachin to come forward, because we are getting into today is the last day of campaign, and we are offering our thanks. Sachin, please, on behalf of the
Both of us together.
Yeah. Okay. So, as the AICC Media and Communications Coordinator,
And as the AICC Observer in charge of the Mizoram elections,
we remain obliged, thankful and grateful for the wonderful support you have extended to us from the time of August 22nd. We came in here and started doing the campaign. We are really grateful to the entire media team of Mizoram. We wish you all success. We wish good luck to all of us. We wish good luck to us to win and form the government.
and please remember us, if ever you come, we'll keep coming back to Mizoram. We loved it. We found a home here. We found a lot of love and acceptance here. A lot of cooperation, a lot of great conversation, a lot of great meets with all of you. If you ever come our side of the country, do remember us, give us a call. We'd be happy to host you, help you in any way we can. Thank you so much, and let's hope we can keep going. Thank you.
Okay. And that's from our side, and we remain thankful to the NPCC Media Chairman Burama, who has been coordinating with all of you. Thanks a ton. And if there is something to be done with him on photographs, you can. There is a public meeting here, and there is a public meeting at 3 o'clock also for the Mizoram citizens interaction. So you're welcome there as citizens.
Members of the public.
Members of the public. There are no media coverage there. But thank you once again. Kalome.
Kalome.
You want to come.
NECS yan Nagaland, Meghalaya le Mizoram Sarkar tinen MOU ziakin state budget ti heklovin state pathuma infrastructure lian tak andin mekzel Mihar sa ti tsomdolin chalay ti mason na napuya sports sa zofa ti rwal o na siya in kumsom swang I-League Club Aizawl FC ta na sumtumtu anitabok NECS zofa ti masonan
Mizoram Security Surveillance bungruzo ng humpuya hiyan ronleng rudverole. CCTV aman dromber at sanga tober tlangin katkula Aizawl pon lama tsanga mindor to depo amunakan wasakhe. India #1 CCTV brand CP Plus Town authorized dealer kaniya company trained swak engineer le technician ten min tritil reng boke. After sale service hi kan ngai poi mo in kan customer dalung oi na zana service back hi kan thupui berani. I mobile phone na tsanga ol sam taka i-clear thei turin i CCTV le i phone at honin kan thlunzum sak thei boke. CCTV may baka security surveillance kay noi bungro ti sang kan kol boke. Company manufacturers warranty kan peg may baka free after sale service tharuk chung kan peboka warranty hwan chunga ibungwa te lo chepal ani chuan repair may nilavin kan lo replace sak don sinya. RS Traders Third Eye Solution U12 and 13 Hospital Road Dorpui Aizawl Mizoram phone 986-232-7777
Litera chenga duli chu engmo bok mu tebo bung ni te chu la tolu tuk Mizoram plastic tuizem siam chuk ma saber zo plus male litera chenga duli anlei sup atlomani chu tlome alei tu tang por thanom khuve in soi theina thamani virgin material